So moving on to System for a minute. So you are playing these two big shows at MetLife Stadium. It's been a while since System's kind of gone out.
We actually were just on tour in South America.
Yeah.
We did 9 days that were incredibly explosive and probably the funnest days we've ever played in our whole career.
Wow.
And it was just like, if you look at the audience, we've got drone footage. It looks like Mordor from Lord of the Rings. Just flares everywhere. It was absolute insanity. So we're very high off that tour and really excited to rock out the East Coast.
Is that where System kind of lives right now? Like it seems like you guys do things, whether it's an album or a tour, when it's going to be fun and when you feel like doing it. There's no
Correct.
timelines. There's no nothing, right?
We no longer take offers to tour. Instead, we just decide what we want to do that year. And we just go, okay, what do you want to do this year? You know, I want to go to Stockholm. I'm like, okay, let's add Stockholm. They're like, well, it's not as big of a market. We'll have to drop a big market. I'm like, drop a big market. You know, like, so it's kind of like, what do you want to do this year? You know, it's like, where should we take the family this year? Where haven't we been? It's a very interesting approach.
When you say family, you mean you bring your family on, or are you talking about the band?
I do bring the family on, depending on where we go. I did it in South America because we just had a new baby and it was a bit too much. But thank you. So, you know, it depends. But I like bringing the family on. I like it. It's fun. It makes it, you know, more personal and great. So it's a different experience. Years ago, when we were doing a lot of touring, I kind of got burned out from the whole Groundhog Day aspect of it. And
right. That's a great way to put it.
I had physical issues. I had back surgery. I had all this stuff going on. I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to tour for many years. And then we played Sydney World, which is a festival that we, you know, kind of helped curate with Live Nation in Las Vegas. And it was a one-off. Just one show, you go rehearse, you see your friends, you play one show, everyone has a good time, you go home. And I was like, I could do this, you know? I like it. When it's not homework, it's fun, right? You know, like when you don't have 20 fucking dates and, you know, all of that. So that's when we started going, okay, well, let's just pick what we want to do. Let's stop taking offers for tours and let's just go, this year, let's do this. This year, let's do this. And minimize it, not do big tours, just do certain dates. Like we originally just set up 3 dates, one in New York, one in Chicago, one in Toronto, right? 3 dates only. We're like, that's fine. Let's just play 3 dates. And then they sold out within 3 hours and they were stadiums. And we're like, what the, you know, what's going on? So they're like, we need to add more on. There's people waiting to buy tickets and all this stuff. And we're like, okay, we've never done that before. So it's kind of interesting how, you know, it's supply and demand, obviously, but also I think the band is opening up to a whole new generation out there and young kids are listening to our music. And, you know, it's quite interesting seeing the progression.
And I love the way you guys are approaching it because, you know, if you do that album tour thing, 9 out of 10 bands burn out at some point, and that's the end of it. You
Exactly.
guys are really being, you know, you're looking, it seems like you're looking a little more, you know, down the field where this can sustain itself and continue to be a thing on your terms.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is, but I don't think we're even thinking that long term. I think we're just being like, look, we've done all this stuff before. You know, we've done the album and tour and press promo and stuff, and for many years, you know, 5 albums, and we're like, now let's just do what we want to do and have fun, you know.
There's no discussion because, as Roger was saying, and as you understand, after year after year after year, many bands are saying enough is enough. Vegas residency appealing?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't say no to anything until I see what, you know, what that's going to bring to our lives in terms of positivity and, you know.
Vegas is a great place for kids.
I was thinking the same thing. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, funny enough, John has a whole kind of life in Vegas because he has a comic book company, our drummer and my brother-in-law, and, you know, Torpedo Comics. And so he has a whole life in Vegas. We spent time in Vegas because of family more than anything. But, you know, I think it's just what we want to do. It's just where we want to go and how we want to do it. Less of, there's no agenda, really. It's just, I mean, you know, I literally had that talk with our agent, European agent, and just said, don't bring any offers. Like, there's no point. We'll let you know what we want to do. She goes, when is that going to be? I'm like, when that is going to be, you know, we'll let
They
you know.
love hearing that.
Yeah, agents love that.
Yeah. It's the truth. It's the truth. You know, and I think it's worked really well for us because I see a lot of bands, even established bands, that tour a lot. You know, they do the album and then do the 2-year cycle and stuff. And bless them that they're able to get through it. I wouldn't be able to get through it at this point in my life, to be honest. I don't have the patience for it. But it also minimizes something. You know, it diminishes the value and demand for that particular
Like you're too
band.
available?
You're too available.
Mm-hmm.
You're too much out there, you know. I'll see them next time. You know, I'll see them at the next venue. You know, I'm just 2 hours away. That kind of a thing. It's like, no, it's system. It's like, haven't played for years. We're playing this one show. Come and get it. You know, that kind of a thing. And it's like, done. You know, or we're playing these 3 shows. Okay, let's make it 5 shows, whatever. But, you know, we haven't been to the East Coast in 12 years, for example. We haven't been to Europe in 9 years, maybe, by the time, you know. So it's kind of like, makes sense, you know.
So on the one hand, the idea that you guys are coming out again and doing live dates speaks to, I'll call it the health of the band. Another indicator would be that the band is coming up with new music. How's that going? Is there any thought about that? I've read a number of times where you've spoken about, you know, your idea of songwriting, and where are you at today? Where is the band at today? I've read also that in Reddit says you're putting out a new album before these shows.
Oh, it's already out. Haven't you heard? I love Reddit. It was actually started by a friend of mine, Alexis Ohanian. Yeah, it's very interesting. But there are no conversations about a new record at all. That's a whole different space.
New song even?
We all write music,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean that it all is going to go in the same direction or vision, right? But I can say that when it comes to touring, our camaraderie, our health, our everything is like better than it's ever been. Our friendship, you know, and that's why I think it's so special. And maybe there will be one day when we kind of look into doing something like that. But for us, that's not the most important thing. For us, the most important thing is to we're enjoying each other again.
Right.
And that's more important than writing a record for us.
One of the things that you said in one of these, and then we're going to let you go. You mentioned that when you came back and started to write again, that you guys were sort of all in different places in terms of, you know, your politics and what, you know, the spiritual direction you wanted to take with your music. Can you explain that? What does that mean?
I've kind of laid it out in like crazy detail in my memoir, Down with the System, where kind of I go through all of the specific elements, which was actually really great because it was like a letting go of stuff for me, which was beautiful and healthy. But yeah, I mean, it's rare to have a band on every record be on the same page, right? Wanting the same things and contributing the same way and all of that. And things evolve, people evolve, their skills evolve. And so at one point, there was definitely a bottleneck of stuff happening. We're talking about 2004, 2005 at this point. 20 years ago is what we're discussing right now. And, you know, and where I was and where the guys were individually, you know, collectively, it wasn't as great of an experience that, for me personally, that I would have wanted. But it just those times, that's what happened then, you know? So, you know, I think looking back on all of that and taking personal responsibility for myself for the situation and understanding each of my friends' outlook and needs and fears and all of that, which I've done in detail throughout the book, has helped me really put kind of like close the door on some of that stuff in the past. And that's left us all kind of, you know, free to really have a great time together again.